Our institutions have become corrupt. Unconstitutional agencies are infringing on your rights. Your liberty is secured by strong men and women of yesterday. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We live in the age of disinformation and corporate propaganda. You're an American, born with unalienable rights. Yet those rights are being trampled every day by unelected busybodies. Welcome to the Dangerous Info Podcast with Jesse Jaymz and Outcast. Dangerous. Stay blessed in the battle.
Let's start with the most ingenious door in any refrigerator. It has special places for bottles, spreadable butter, cheeses, even leftovers, and a big picture window hydrator for fruits and vegetables. It tilts down to show you your supply at a glance. And it also lifts out, so you can take it over to the sink when there's a fresh supply to be washed and put away. But that's just the door. Think of all you can store in here on these big firm shelves that roll all the way out to you, so you can get at the food and back without moving anything in front. And how about your frozen things? Oh yes, there's a place for them too, in this big food freezer. Even your ice cubes have a special place for storage, right here. And watch how they get there. You just take out a tray, turn it over, and push. You get a shower of ice cubes, all frosty dry and ready to...
I just want to welcome you to the morning show, and Outcast is joining us this morning, too, from his vehicle. All right, yes, it's going to be a good one. So Outcast is going to be out there. We'll be bringing in some topics from... look, we got about an hour to put stuff in here, so we're trying to keep it limited in what we're doing. But I want to welcome you guys all to the mountaintop, and Lord bless this transmission and guide our intentions in this episode here today. Amen. Because I want your... Yeah, thank you, Outcast. I want your mornings to be calm and peaceful, but I understand that can't always happen. So I hope we can just make it a little bit more manageable for you guys here today. Also, I want to thank our affiliate GrubTerra for giving us the opportunity of a 20% discount on all their pet products when you purchase through our link that is listed down in the description here below. I'm talking about the chicken coop refresher product that smells so good. This stuff right here, you guys, this stuff is awesome. Makes the chicken coop smell better, and it makes it happier for everybody. All right. Also, they have worm treats for our chickens and lizards and whatever you have. So go over there to grubterra.com. You'll see our link down there in the description below, and it is a good one. Get 20% off, I believe. Yeah, that's what they provided for us. So use that link, and if you have indoor pets, hey, they're going to like some of the products over there too. So that's GrubTerra, you guys. And Outcast, you are on the road, brother. What is going on? You are on the road, and, I can tell that it's wintertime still, and but it's not too bad today. We have a little bit of... what is it? We're hitting the 40s, I believe. Yeah, we'll be hitting the 40s, and I'll take it. You know what I mean? It's melting off a little bit of the snow. How's your commute this morning?
It's not bad. The roads are, because it's warm, it's not slippery or anything, so everything's fine. Everything's melting off nicely. It's going to tickle 50, I think, today, Jesse.
Good. Well, I like tickling, so that's good. Bring it. Bring it. But I just hope we still have a white Christmas, We're going to need that. It just makes it so much better. We have a few people joining us here on the Rumble Live. We have Music Lover, morning friends, Hicktown Honey. Yeah, talking about those were the days about that was a 1956 refrigerator. Did you see how smart that was? And how, when I say smart, I don't mean today's technology smart. I'm saying practicality, smart, useful, freedom, right? Nobody looking in your refrigerator, nobody, hooking Wi-Fi to it and all that nonsense. Ms. Melody says, I vote we go back, like the 90s a lot. She likes the 90s a lot. Look, yeah, it's, boy, that's the feeling that I'm trying to put in these shows here, in these morning shows, is the old-timey stuff. I mean, you guys this is the third one in a row that we're doing now, and I'm trying to get that feel. I'm trying to get that throwback, that old, nostalgia. I know I might be out there, on a limb with this stuff, Outcast, but I'm trying to get that feeling, get people to think that, that we can still live in those days. Listen, I lost my phone a couple years ago, or was it 2 years ago? I smashed the phone on accident. And so I lived in 1994 for about a week, and I loved it. Remember that? Remember that stuff?
Yeah, I do.
It was great,
yeah.
man. It was good.
It's, the 90s were good. The 80s were maybe a little better for us. 70s were pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's, you're right. I mean, when you watch all the old movies with all the clues in it, going back to let's say, since I mentioned the 80s, as a teenager, watching Blade Runner and, we watched The Terminator. We had no idea that we would see those things coming to light in our lifetimes. We had no idea that they were giving us a signal and a clue of what they were planning for us. So even though the 80s and 90s were cool and all, the plans were being laid at that point already for what they wanted to do to us. And you're right about the refrigerator. It's like it does what it's supposed to do. A refrigerator is supposed to keep your food cool and have features on it that make sense for your storage of food.
Yeah.
What they've given us now is subpar products that last a fraction of the lifespan, loaded with technology that will fail you because it's glitchy, and also will monitor and track and surveil you. And it is insidious, and it is idiocracy. It's like this timeline we're in sucks. It's like, just let us live a wholesome life. But the more wholesome of a life we live, the more connected to the Creator we are, and they cannot have that. They need the matrix to be funneled on a negative trajectory towards dystopian anxiety and stress and fear. They feed off of our stress and our fear, and they want to keep us severed from the Creator. That's what this is all about. That's what they're doing. Sorry, Jesse, if I'm getting all over the place.
No, you're right in line with what the chat's going, and you're right in line with why I played it. You're right in line, because I'm always yapping about the smart stuff, SMART, all that stuff, the self-monitoring, analysis, reporting technology. How long have I been saying that? Since 2021. Remember that, when all that stuff went viral? But even way before that, I was trying to warn people, and people didn't get it. The TVs and the smart meter on your house and all these things. But Music Lover, she says, hey, I just want fridges and big appliances that last more than 5 years. My parents' last fridge barely lasted that long and needed a new compressor, but the region was fused shut. Couldn't be open. You know what? I'm telling you what, if you guys want to go into any of these old hunting cabins up north, or in people's garages right now, dudes' garages out in the back, dude shops and all that stuff, that's where those old 70s and 80s refrigerators are. They're back there with beer in them, old Budweiser and stuff like that, old deer meat. I just got rid of one the other day because we've got too many refrigerators. And this one was an old one too, but I know where I can get other ones. But still, I mean, those ones are ancient relics. They're usually green, some light green or some light yellow. Sometimes you get the orange ones, but
that's Jesse, to correct you, that's called Harvest Gold and Avocado Green.
That's
70s
right.
colors.
I'm glad you remembered that. But those things are still out there running. Yeah, they might not be as efficient and stuff, but guess what? How many refrigerators have you bought since the 70s and 80s that one's still going? You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I had a Harvest Gold one that was the exact same model that they had on the Brady Bunch when I was a bachelor in my house, and I had a guy come and repair it, and he was just like, he goes, dude, this thing will run forever. He goes, this was the same fridge that they had on the Brady Bunch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I had that into the 90s. That was like into the late 90s I had that fridge.
Yeah. Oh, it goes the same with washing machines and all the appliances, man, in there. The old ones, they just work. That's when things, now they're designed not, to have a shelf life. Because they've turned us into a quick, little service economy, but also a just a quick turnaround. Nothing lasts forever. I mean, cars, they could last forever. The old ones, they're still around. Look at a 50-year-old F-250 highboy truck. Do you think in 50 years, the trucks from today are going to be holding that kind of value, that kind of stuff? I mean, and I'm just talking about trucks here. So Hicktown, she says, we buy the simplest model from our local shop and make sure it's serviceable. Appliances are so expensive. Yeah, very smart. We bought a when the kids were born back in the early 2000s, we had to get the top load fancy Maytag with all the stuff and all that crap, right? But those are gone now. And what we have, I went back to Speed Queens. Remember, I talked about Speed Queens a few years back, trying to get people to go that, because Speed Queens, that's the company that builds all the laundromat equipment, right? But they also build the ones for residential use. And I didn't want the ones with all the nonsense on it. No Wi-Fi, none of that stuff. I just wanted some knobs and some push buttons, things like that, right? Well, Speed Queen still offers that stuff. Where if you go with these other, these top end, the Maytags and the Frigidairs and whatever else out there, can you get any of those without Wi-Fi now? I don't know, because I'm not shopping for them, but my stuff does not have Wi-Fi in it. There's no reason for that, other than control by somebody outside.
Another side note about the Speed Queens is they actually use water to wash your clothes. These new ones, my wife bought a newer one, and it does this auto sensing.
Yeah.
And it rations the water out. So it's barely using any water to wash your clothes, which is sketchy to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, at least the Speed Queens, not only they tanks, but they use water to wash your clothes.
Exactly. Yeah. You can, and the reason why it's regulating the water, Outcast, is that's because it's going to be falling in compliance with the Agenda 2030 stuff, the coming out of the sustainable development, the UN stuff. That's why these companies are complying to all that nonsense. They're being made to comply that. And think about this: they want a family of 4 to be able to live off of 55 gallons of water per day. They want you to have a smart water heater so they can shut that off, and a smart water or a smart electric meter in your house so they can shut certain things off. If you reach your limit, 55 gallons of water per day for 4 people in a family, they will shut that off. That's
well, and stepping back a little further yet, we realize that this AI thing is probably way further along than that they're telling us. It's probably 20, 30 years ahead of what we know, and they know that they needed the water to cool the AI.
Yeah.
So they want us to conserve water so they can power the artificial intelligence.
Yeah, there you go, for sure. It's wild what they're doing to us, man. It's just crazy what they had planned for us, and and the plans are coming into motion. So, they use fear to herd us around like sheep. Spook us here, spook us there. We run like, look at this, even this Charlie Kirk thing with Erica Kirk and Candace Owens. I'm pretty sure that's just a big CIA 3-letter agency psyop to keep us distracted from the fact that they're slowly enslaving us. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They're making all these moves behind the scenes.
Yeah. I like what's going on here in the chat. Hicktown and Music Lover, they're going back and forth about how they're living and stuff. Ms. Melody's talking about Whirlpool and things are out of warranty. Things are only lasting a couple of years. Hicktown lives on a cistern. That's awesome. That's kind of like being on a well, but it's a holding tank, a big one that you have filled. I like that. That's a good idea. Anybody can do that pretty much, as long as you don't have all these local codes, controlling what you're doing. But you can find these machines, you guys. If anybody wants to find an old machine, or do you still want to be all fancy and all that stuff or whatever and controlled and watched, you can do that too. But go on Marketplace, go on, local eBay stuff, go to garage sales, go to churches, Salvation Armies, things like that. If you're in a Salvation Army, but it's just crazy. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And don't forget, there are people, small appliance stores in your local communities that do refurbished, washers, dryers, all the appliances you need. They sell used stuff. And some of those guys are really good at refurbishing them and selling them at a good price, and they'll last a long time. Yeah. And that's another good, idea. A good thought is that some of these guys will have, like you said, these machines are serviceable. The old ones are.
They're very serviceable. There's minimal electronic, motherboards and chips and all these things. Ideally, if you can get one that has none of that, that'd be the best, because then it's 100% mechanical, pretty much, other than maybe the dial, but still, you can hotwire those things. I've done that before. Make things spin, make things empty out water. You can do that stuff. So think about that. Yeah, it might not be the fanciest thing. It might not be the thing that you want to show all your girlfriends and your family when they come over to see. Here's our fancy new see-through, controlled by phone machine that's watching everything we do. You know what? Whatever. That's a completely different mindset. But all right, Outcast, let's go on to this, because we only have a little bit of time on this show is what I'm saying tonight. And we got a lot of stuff to take care of. And what I want to bring up right away happened in Savannah, Georgia. Now, you guys are probably familiar, because I've talked about Savannah, Georgia a lot. My daughter, she went to school down there at the SCAD for 3 years, and then she was graduated early. And just 3 years was her plan. That was it. And I spent a lot of time. Me and the wife spent a lot of time down there. We actually had friends come down there and visit, because Savannah is such an awesome town to go and visit. And I suggest you guys do it. Well, our friends Chris Ann and JC Hall, they met us there one year, right? And there's a picture, I believe, on our social media somewhere, where there's a picture of me and Chris Ann and JC, and we're eating breakfast together. Everybody's at the table. And in particular, I don't know if you guys are set up or understand the way that Savannah is set up. It's a college town, not like a typical university or college town where you go into the campus, right? Savannah the city is mixed. If you're in the town, you're also on the campus. You don't see like borders or entrance ways. You'll see buildings. That is a SCAD building. Savannah College of Art and Design is what that is. And then you'll see, a regular municipal building or a commercial building. They're all mixed. Outcast, what I'm trying to say is, like, it's not just a campus. You won't find a campus. The campus is the city, and the city is the campus. All right. So certain buildings are owned by the school, and certain ones are not. So what's really, and it's one of the oldest towns. It goes back to the Revolutionary stuff. And good morning, Isabel Kalin. And it also has a lot of Revolutionary War memorials everywhere. It's said to be one of the biggest haunted cities in the country, because of what happened with the French and the British wars and all the mass burials. And it's a great place to go and visit and check things out. But anyway, just last week or the week before, a girl that was walking just like my daughter would, just like girls and boys and people are walking there right now today in Forsyth Park. They have a lot of parks in the middle of town. Everybody is familiar with Central Park. That's enormous. But these parks here are a lot smaller. Forsyth is the biggest one that's down there in Savannah. It has a little restaurant, a little coffee shop. Beautiful one. We love going to that one. That's where our picture is taken. There's a soccer field. They do events there. There's a huge fountain. There's a path with these beautiful trees with the Spanish moss hanging off of them. I'm talking just typical stuff you would think of when you watch anything from the South like that, those old movies, right? Well, that's what this place is. Well, and there's a lot of people there. There's people walking their dogs and throwing Frisbees. There are, on the weekends, they'll do the events where all the vendors are all set up and they're selling their artwork or their t-shirts or, their craft cheeses and meats. And it's like farmer's market on the weekends. It's a beautiful place is what I'm saying. With a lot of people foot traffic everywhere. Tennis courts.
And it's a park. It's right on the beach, right?
No beach. It's away from the beach. This is in the city. That's what's crazy about this is, like, there's all these little parks in the town. Some are too small, I would say, to be called a park, but it's a spot of grass with some benches, maybe some shrubbery, and maybe a plaque or two, in some war memorial stuff. And then you go a few blocks down, you'll run into bigger ones. But like I said, Forsyth is the biggest one. It's grass. It's huge. You know what I mean? It's a big field. Savannah is on the river right there, but it's away from the beach a little bit, what I'm talking about. Okay, so it's a little bit inland. It's still all really close. You can walk to the water and all that stuff. So anyway, the girl, a student, is hospitalized right now. She's sitting in the hospital, burned on the skin, on her face, on her head, her hands, her arms, because somebody threw acid on her. Nobody in the media that I've seen is actually picking the story up and talking about this story.
Go figure.
Now, there's particular people that are known for acid attacks or putting stuff in bottles and squirting people with them. But usually when you see that, there's usually some sort of a protest event or something going on. This just happened out of the blue. The girl was just walking to class, right? It could have been my daughter.
Yeah, sure. I was going to say, I think it's somewhere around the 10,000 mark. There are 10,000 acid attacks in Muslim countries every year in the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm going to throw on top of that. So keep that in mind. What have we seen Antifa groups doing over the last few years? They would put urine in water bottles and balloons and all these things, but not acid. This is something a little bit different. Going back to
how do you carry acid to even distribute it onto somebody? I mean, how do you
glass? You can use glass or thicker plastic, or there's ways to do it. Then you just it'll hold for a while in certain. When I say acid, I'm thinking battery acid because I have battery acid here for my equipment. And that's kept in a protective bag thing. But it will leak. You got to get rid of it or use it or something because it can eat through that and it will etch through it. Battery acid. But for short distances and short times, yeah, that's no problem. You can put a water bottle in a bag and squirt somebody in the face with it. But back to what you said. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Well, in the Middle East, I believe that there's a scripture in the Quran that says that non-believers will be consumed in a consuming fire or something like that. I should have that on hand to share. But if you want to do your own research, you can look up scripture in the Quran about consuming fire or something like that. Yeah. So I think it's considered a portable way to consume people in fire that you think are, maybe, I mean, this is a hypothetical, I don't know, but maybe somebody saw this woman and said in their mind, she should have a hijab on, and she doesn't. So she's an infidel and she needs to burn. I saw pictures of her in the hospital, and it's heartbreaking to see a young woman like this so severely burned around her head. She'll never recover from this fully. She'll have these scars for the rest of her life. It's really, really quite evil.
It's horrible, man. It is horrible. And just to think that happened right there where we were, enjoying coffee, enjoying a breakfast sandwich, enjoying talking. You're right? Your music lover said, yeah, how about we don't spray anybody with anything, right? Or how about we don't spray people with anything we don't want on us, right? Well, see, and so this goes back into the whole media coverage of this thing. Is there a reason why media won't talk about this show or talk about this? It's a big thing. Think about this. A college student got sprayed with acid in the face and media's not talking about it. If this was something that fits their narrative, it wouldn't be nonstop in the media. We'd be hearing about it. We'd be hearing so much about these people, I can't think of any of their names, but they would be doing their same old routine again, right? That's exactly what they would be doing. But like I said a few weeks ago, too, when somebody shoots somebody and they're the wrong color and that person, the victim, is the wrong color, doesn't fit their narrative, they won't talk about it.
Let me take this conversation down a religious path for a second, too. As disciples of Christ, we're kind of called, we are called to go and rescue other people out of darkness like God rescued us out of darkness, okay? And that is done in love and compassion and using our life's experiences to share with other people so they know that they're not alone, and to call people closer to God so they can experience the joy and the peace and the love that we have and the grace of God.
Yeah.
And it also says in our Bible that you will know believers, or you'll know godly people by the fruit that they bear. I don't care how you look at this, but if religion is behind this, and you think that somehow your religion of peace is going to be conveyed through pouring acid on people, I think there's a very strong case here that this is not of God, because God is love. God is not of retribution, and if God doles, he's the ultimate judge. If he decides to come down in judgment on Sodom and Gomorrah or anything else, that's his prerogative.
Mhm.
But we are not called to do that. We are not, as people, human beings, are not commissioned to be judgers. That's his job. Vengeance is mine, says the Lord. So any religion that commissions people with doling out justice, and if that justice can, in my opinion, means you're cutting off limbs or pouring acid on people or whatever it is, I'm sorry, that's not the true religion. That's not the religion of God the Creator, because I don't think that's what he would do.
Yeah,
So
no,
I
like
don't know,
it.
just thinking out loud here.
Yep, I like it. Yeah. Music Lover says, vengeance is not ours to take, but God's, right?
Amen.
Yep.
Yes.
And Ms. Melody, she says, that sounds like Auburn, Alabama. Beautiful college town. Yeah, I imagine. I've never been to Auburn, but I know people who have been to both, and they say, yeah, it's very, very nice. Beautiful, beautiful spots. Yeah.
Listen,
right.
as mad as this makes everybody, please, I'm calling everyone that listens to our show, please pray for the person who did this. Can you imagine if they came to Jesus with a heart of repentance and changed their ways? That would be amazing. Because do not forget, and I said this on the show several weeks ago, Saul was a vicious persecutor of Christians. He was present giving consent to stone Stephen to death, one of the very first disciples to be killed for his faith. One of the very first martyrs is Stephen. Yet somebody, I'm telling you, one of the disciples or multiple disciples were praying for Saul. And Saul encountered Jesus on the road to Damascus and was transformed into Paul, who was a profound prophet of God, of Jesus Christ, and the builder of the church. So just imagine, we cannot hate these people. We have to pray for them. We have to pray for a change of heart. The devil that feeds off of our negative energy is desiring for us to have hatred, anger, and malice and rage and bloodlust for what these people are doing. That continues the cycle. We have to break the cycle in love. So don't let this eat you up with anger. Just imagine if this person could feel the real true love of Christ in their heart and what that could do for the kingdom. So I'm sorry, I just had to throw that in there, Jesse. God downloaded that on me.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I wish I knew her name because we could also throw some prayers for her too. I haven't looked it up, but if anybody out there wants to look her up, the girl sprayed with the acid attack here in Savannah, please do that. Maybe we can put her name up. But another thing too, let's go back to this story because we've been talking about it and we really blew it up Monday night show. Talking about the Australian shooters and that whole false flag looking event, right? In the media, they're just gaslighting everybody because that's all they're told to do and that's all they're supposed to do, right? But those shooters, this is okay. Coming off the back of that story we just talked about to this one here, those shooters, father and son team, people found that they were last name Cohen. And, Star of Rem fan stuff all over the social media stuff. All right. And top of the morning to you, Darren. Good morning. Welcome. So, and that one gunman, the I don't know if it was the father or the son, but it was taken down by a guy named Ahmed or something like that, a Muslim guy, right? So we have... There's so much going on, Outcast, in the world. You have this one, you have acid attack. This one is defending and taking the gun away. But again, that whole thing that took place over in Australia, Bondi Beach, that's a complete setup, by some sort of agencies or whatever. But, we're being told lies and by the media, and the media is sticking to these lies. Yeah.
And I've been busy, but did the text thread say that there was a second shooting in Australia after that one? Is that true?
I don't know. I haven't paid attention to that part of it.
Okay.
I've just been looking up this one. But, gaslighting, again, they're just gaslighting the heck out of you. You know what you see. You can see it. But yet the official government and media sources are telling you something different than what you're looking at. That's when you know there's biblical stuff about that, biblical scripture about that, right, Outcast? You need to know what you're looking at and don't be swayed by other official sources telling you what you're seeing. Use your own eyes. Trust your own discernment. The gut is not lying to you, okay?
Pray and ask for discernment daily.
Yeah.
God will not resent you for that. He will love that.
Yeah.
That's what David did. That's what King David did that.
Let me see here. She says, Music Lover saying our friend Pastor Nelly recorded some incredibly brave episodes about how the history of Islam and how truly evil the core. It's worth a listen later. Yeah, we'll have to text him and see what he's been up to. Haven't been.
Maybe we could have him on to do that, do a version of that on our show. Have him come on and talk about the history of Islam.
Yeah, maybe I'll text him later. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely something fishy going on in Australia. Yeah, she's saying Sky News Australia is like their Fox News if you're looking for local sources. Yeah, I wouldn't trust a whole lot of mainstream media coming out of that stuff. It's all big, huge corporate controlled, propaganda following nonsense. CIA stuff, Mockingbird. Yeah.
Well, I know our savvy listeners already know this, but in case there's anybody new listening, if you understand the Hegelian dialectic, which is from Dr. Hegel from the 1940s, it's the crisis reaction solution scenario. Once you understand how this works, they create the crisis, they watch our panicked reaction, and they give us a crummy solution that benefits them and not us. That playing out, if you look at every event that happens through that filter, you'll very quickly start to see through every narrative they sell us. Because what did Australia do? Australia took away guns in the 90s, was it late 90s?
Yeah.
And then that's supposed to safeguard everybody, but yet these guys are out there shooting people up and nobody can defend them. There's a lot of footage of these guys shooting. If every one of those people that had a camera, even if one of those people that had a camera had a gun, they could have stopped it, and maybe we've had one death instead of a dozen or whatever. I don't know how many died. 6 people died, supposedly. But regardless, who benefits from this narrative? Well, who comes out? The Australian government. We need more gun restrictions. You need more. Yep. You've already made it virtually impossible to have a gun in Australia, and you want more restrictions. Mm-hmm. I think that all your solutions come from more restrictions. When do our solutions come from our freedom? Because in the old days, when it was the Wild West, the Wild West was a little crazy, but when everybody's carrying a gun, people behave themselves a little bit more.
See,
right?
Yeah. Now you're thinking. That's wrong. Think, Outcast. What you're doing, you're thinking positively, right? You're thinking in a direct, thing that's something that is understandable and comprehensible. But no, that's not what governments want. They have the solution to keep you safe. All right, just trade in a bunch of your liberties, that's your security, and they will take care of you. That's what they want. They don't want a free thinking public out there. They want somebody who's scared and under their thumb. Okay.
And every event that they have, from Pearl Harbor to 9/11 to COVID, whatever it is, you'll see how the people who buy into the narrative are the ones who are most anxious and terrified and are incapable of looking at truth.
That's right. Yep.
Isn't that interesting? And they know that. That's why they keep doing it.
Exactly. And it's funny how they already have the answer for the questions they were directing and putting out there before the event starts. So they already have it done. It's ready to go. And there's nothing, it's all pattern based. If you can watch these things and you'll see a pattern, happen. That's what I'm saying. So, it's all pattern based, and you got to pay attention to these things. So another one too, Outcast, the event 97, that's about when it happened, 96, 97 in Australia. That event, you had a bunch of people, using AR-15s and, those style machine guns, right? Pistols, that stuff. So they did get rid of that kind of stuff. But what they weren't able to get rid of back then was the long hunting rifles. Well, guess what they used in this event here? Long, old hunting rifles. Right? Now it's time to get rid of those back to back. Okay? That's what I'm saying. So, listen, just like what happened in UK, what's going on in London, you take away the guns. All right, you take away the knives from the people. Now the attacks that they get, remember it was this long stretch of people getting massacred by machetes. Well, who's bringing the machetes and hammers? And then they said, all right, no more knives. Well, then they start running people over with cars and trucks, and plowing through parades and people sitting down eating in cafes, and so. It doesn't matter. The evil's going to happen because you cannot stop evil. You can, there are people that are guiding this evil. There are people that are funding this evil, they're setting people up in the ones that are sitting around being victimized, the non-thinking ones that are sitting around like dummies, getting run over, getting stabbed, getting what I don't want to call them dummies, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The ones that are in the matrix that aren't seeing the big picture of what's going on. They are sitting ducks for the government-funded, structured invasions that are going on in these countries.
Yeah.
the invaders, they know what they're there to do. They know the change that needs to be made in these so-called white since the beginning. What's the right word? Societies, or and I'm not trying to make this a white and black thing, but guess who is? Government is. These governments are. They're trying to use the color of this race and the color of this race, and they're putting out messages, mixed messages with their media that they use to make us want to hate each other. Okay?
Fracture and divide.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That is the game, and they're using it. They use it on a big public mass scale where most people just can't see it, can't recognize it. Unless you have the critical thinkers out there who are sitting down, who have actual time to think about certain things, can see these things, how they're laid out in plans. And it's nothing new. These are these are ancient plans. They've been working civilizations way before us. You just take this group of people and talk crap to this group of people about what those people are doing. Just get them all stirred up. Don't look at us. Look at each other, because you guys are got to fight each other. All you got to do is throw a ball out there, right? And they start fighting with each other. Don't look at us. Then you have that. That's where the Roman Colosseum and all that stuff coming, the bread and circus.
And let me add, too, that with this situation in Australia, it's not just about taking guns away and rights away for the Australians. That's just a bonus, because everything that they do has a 2-fer or a 3-fer benefit for them.
Yeah.
But what I think also is going on here is they are trying to drum up sympathy or support, so we will consent to a blood war in Iran. Okay, they need us to support them and say this is terrible. We have to support Israel no matter what, because look at how that hatred is, and then they're going to try to build a case for our sympathy and support for that war. And if I may, Jesse, this is not on our docket, but and I've said this on the show a while ago. I want to say it again for any new listeners, or a reminder to listeners that heard it the first time. This is a theory of mine. I cannot back this up fully, but I heard a podcast on Blurry Creatures a while ago with a guy that had decoded cylinder scrolls in the museum in Israel, in the capital of Israel. These cylinder scrolls have hieroglyphs on them that nobody can decipher, but a fireman from the United States, a retired fireman, made it his hobby to decode these scrolls, and he determined that the scrolls are actually a treasure map to multiple locations of King Solomon's treasures. We're talking about so much gold and silver and priceless artifacts that would completely upset the entire economic structure of the world. Probably there's so much gold there. I don't know this for a fact. This is just a loose theory, but I'm going to tie this into what we're talking about right now. Why is Israel so determined to take over, to expand Israel, to make it the greater Israel? I mean, okay, you could say that they're on a small sliver of land. They need more land. Okay. But I think that they know that those treasure maps indicate that those treasures are in Iran and other places that they want to in Palestine. That's why they're leveling Palestine, because they want to reclaim that land. And then once they put the borders up, and then they can find the gold, that they can say it's ours. If any other country finds this gold and silver, they're going to say it's theirs. So it is in Israel's best benefit to reclaim the land first before it finds the treasure. To back this theory up, I want to say this. We think of Israel as the highest concentration of Jewish people on the planet. In fact, there's a province in Russia. You can look it up. I won't tell you the name of it. You can do your own homework. It is an Israeli settlement state within Russia. It is the largest population of Jews in the world. There are plenty of places for Jewish people to go and be happy and live out their life. But they insist on being on this sliver of land and completely annihilating everybody around them. Jews, Christians, Muslims, and Christians alike are being annihilated, even into what's north of there, Lebanon, even into Lebanon, which is notorious for being a harmonious culture where Jews, Christians, and Muslims have lived side by side for millennia and without issue. And even they go into Lebanon and they bomb into Lebanon on a regular basis. Why? Theory. I don't know anything. I'm just a dude out here making up stories in my head, but I believe it could be linked to these treasures. If they can take over these lands, then they will reclaim these treasures that are on the treasure map. Just throwing it out there for people to consider. But I think that what we're looking at here is really insidious. It is far beyond what you can look at on the surface. They're trying to make it into an issue between who's more vile, the Muslims or who's the bad guy here? Well, we got to pick the lesser of evils. Well, I'm here to tell you, as a Christian, if you look at the Bible very closely, it says anyone who denies the deity of Christ is an antichrist. We're waiting for, I think we keep talking about the Antichrist. Anyone who denies the Christ is an Antichrist. We have two Antichrist cultures who are just destroying, bloodlust for one another. And we're being told that we have to pick a side. Don't play the game, people. Please, I'm begging you, don't get sucked into this argument. It is not an argument that is a construct of your own mind. It is an argument constructed in their minds, and they want you to adopt it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jesse. I just had to get that off my chest.
I like it. No, you're good. You're on point right there. Music lover. There's a lot of stuff going on, but Hicktown Honey says, I don't think we have a racial divide. I think we have a spiritual divide. Exactly. That rises above everything right there. And they know how to use it. And they put it out there in the forms of a racial thing, to make us think it's a racial thing going on. And then we got into the talk of Jim Barfield. I've reached out to Jim Barfield before, but I've never gotten a response. But they're saying that was Miss Melody and Hicktown and Music Lover riding with us here. But PJ, our friend PJ Williams, I guess he knows Jim Barfield. So maybe I'll be able to get in touch with him. That'd be great to have him on the show and talk about some of this stuff, deeper knowledge too.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Was that too much of a diversion, Jesse, or do you think that had relevance to our conversation?
No, it's relevant because everybody here in the chat's talking about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. For sure.
Just throwing it out there.
Yep.
Do your own homework. Let me know if I'm wrong.
Yep. The Bongino, he left the FBI. He's resigning. Don't know anything about that yet. Wasn't very impressed with him or what Cash Patel have been up to. But I don't know why. Maybe because there's things that we'll never know that they were shown or were told. Don't know. That'd be nice if he was able to come out and open his mouth and tell us what is really going on in there. I pray for him. Pray for him, but I don't think we're ever going to know.
I know, and it's funny because everybody who talks big talk like we talk here on the show, gets into office and they change their tune as soon as they get into office. What are they being disclosed on? Now, I'm not a big UFO guy or nothing like that. I'm really not. I'm open-minded. I'll listen to anybody who wants to talk about reptilians or whatever. But sometimes I can't help but wonder. I'm like, did they get in there and they go, well, here's what's really going on behind the scenes. And they go, nope. Because Bongino is just like Cash Patel. They look like they saw a ghost after they got into office. Yeah. And they changed their tune. They turned on a dime. And now Bongino's out. It's either one of two things. It is so bizarre and insidious behind the scenes we can't comprehend, or it's so corrupt it's insidious and scary on a different level. It's something's going on where these people get in there and they are freaked out after being in office or being taken into those higher levels for about 30 seconds. They come out and they're a changed person. So I hope, I don't know if we're intended to know the truth while we're here on this earth. God will reveal truth to us at a later date. Yeah. But I don't mind pursuing truth. There's something bigger going on here. There really is. It is crazy to watch these people fall like dominoes. I know it is totally. And here's the thing is I think you're talking about how they've been, taken down and talked to by some aliens or whatever. But, I think that's what, that goes back to a long time ago when we were kids. The people talking about, they're going out and talk to reptilians and all this stuff. Well, I'm guessing it's more along the lines of they were taken into some room, some skiff somewhere, and shown a video and said, look, you will be able to talk about these things, but not these things. And see this video? If you do these things, that's your family. That's you. That's everybody you love is going to happen in that video right there. And I think they got him. You could take anybody you want. I don't know who the biggest hero in life that you can think of right now, the biggest strong man, whatever. Once a Fed, always a Fed. Hicktown, honey. Now when he comes out, are we going to be able to trust him? I don't know. Just like all these CIA guys who would come out of CIA,
Can you trust them?
Listen,
I
right.
don't know. Yeah.
I don't think I trust Candace Owens. I don't think I trust Nick Fuentes. I don't think I trust who else is there? Sean Ryan. I mean, don't get me wrong. Just like I said about Hollywood, they might produce 98% cool content that's legit, and then there's 2% poison. There's things they won't talk about. They'll divert your attention from. They'll skirt around, and it's those are the big items.
Mm-hmm.
I know these people know things and they can't talk. And it's crazy. I don't know. We just got to keep digging into our faith because God is their only way through this. This is an evil place that we live in.
It is
controlled by evil people.
It is. It's wild, man. It's wild and crazy. I bet people are going to say that about us at some point, or probably already are. You can't trust these guys, whatever. It's wild. All right, so we're almost at about an hour, so we're going to end it with this last story right here, and it's a big one to think about. In Outcast, it's Rob Reiner. I said nothing about this when all this happened the other day, and I watched what was the reactions on YouTube, and I watched what the reactions from official people, government, and Hollywood, and I just waited to see how this is all going to kind of play out. Well, yesterday on the Facebook page, I put out there, what if Rob Reiner is found out to be just another old Hollywood pedophile? What if some people who have known about it stayed quiet about it all these years? What if we come to find out things that Corey Feldman and Corey Haim were trying to tell us back in the 90s for a long time on different shows all over the place, dropping hints, has to do with this guy, Rob, and others in Hollywood? Look at some of the old movies that Corey Feldman and Corey Haim were in. See who the directors were. Then
that's a good point.
Bring this up too. Go look at the old roasts of Rob Reiner.
Oh, really?
Go look at some of those roasts. Those comedy roasts that they have. There's a lot in some of these award shows. When they do the openings and their sets and all that stuff, they'll frame things as jokes that are actually the truth. You know what I'm saying?
I saw that.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is when they do this stuff on roasts, and there's a good one and a hard hitting roast of Rob Reiner and kids, little boys.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Yep. It's in my phone.
You got to send it to me.
Okay.
So that's the evidence I would need. I mean, it's not evidence, but it's all the evidence I personally would need to believe that. And here's the thing. There's a guy standing out in front of Rob Reiner's house right now that the media will not report on. And he's shouting some weird kind of he's kind of speaking in code, but saying something. He's calling himself a minor, which he's not. So I think maybe he's alluding to the fact that he was a minor, and he's saying that he was assaulted by Rob Reiner. Now, what's interesting here is that Rob Reiner was he was viscerally hateful towards Trump. Okay, now I've got my concerns about Trump myself, like a lot of us do, but let's say we go back to the trust the plan stuff. If Trump is the guy that's going to purge all these pedophiles out of, and look at these people keep dying one after another. I mean, look at what's his name, and his wife died. The guy from Superman, and he was Little Bill in The Unforgiven. Gosh darn it, Gene Hackman and his wife.
Oh, Gene Hackman,
yeah. They found him and his wife dead. Okay, well, what if these people are all indicated in this pedophile stuff, and this is they're being taken off the playing field because of? So this would explain why Rob Reiner's hatred for Trump was so visceral, and why Trump was so disrespectful when he died, possibly because we know what a monster some of these people are. I don't know. I'm speculating. This is just for entertainment purposes, but it makes you wonder what's going on here. There's probably a bigger story than we can comprehend. And what kind of a monster was he for his son to kill him? If your own kid is killing you and your mother, right?
These are all great points. Can I throw in one more on top of it? His dad was Carl Reiner. His dad, Carl Reiner, was a major Hollywood star, right? Producer, whatever he did. I mean, Carl Reiner, that was a big name. Well, his son, Meathead, on Archie Bunker, there might be another reason why he feels the way he does towards Trump and people like Trump. Archie Bunker was that to him back in the 70s. A no messing around, a strong man, a hard man, Archie Bunker, right? And here he is, meathead, dating, getting married to Archie's daughter in the show.
Yeah.
I have
Gloria.
Gloria. I have audio also of President Nixon and a couple other guys in the office. Nixon doesn't realize that there's what this is, but he says there's something. There's a recording of him bitching about this show on TV right now. It's a sitcom, and it's talking about these. That's promoting homosexuality and all these things. And the guy that he's talking to says, no, that is a weekly show. Nixon says, are you telling me that this is a weekly show that goes out to families and American families are watching this? And the guy says, yes. And Nixon starts calling the guy, Archie calls him a hard hat. Because in those old days, he's a strong man, hard hat. He said the hard-hatted one is talking about the homosexual one and all this stuff's going on. Well, he doesn't realize that he's talking about All in the Family with Archie Bunker and Meathead. Because he saw some scenes. He must have saw some scenes from that show where it looks like Meathead is being gay with some other guy or whatever. But in that show, remember, he was a flaming liberal, just like in real life. His dad was messing with him.
Well, his dad was the producer of was his dad the producer of All in the Family? Was Carl Reiner?
Maybe he was, but Archie Bunker was not about all that crap. Archie Bunker was the one who would put his fist through a brick wall and punch a dude through a brick wall. Remember?
Yeah.
So Hicktown says I have no clue who it is, so I'm out of loop. Look, back in those days, think about the biggest film producers and stars of today, right now. These were them guys back in the 70s and 80s. Okay, they're big names. Think about Spielberg. Go ahead.
I would encourage Hicktown to go to YouTube and look up All in the Family episodes and just watch one or watch highlights, and you'll be. It's pretty interesting. It's aging awesome. It's aging very interesting. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it is very good. So Archie Bunker, the dad, the hard hat that Nixon calls him. He is the conservative dad of the family, the head of the household. Then you have
but they make him out to be a bigot too. They make him out to be an opinionated bigot.
Oh yeah, but guess who he gets along with? Jefferson's. What's his name? They're friends.
Well, he does and he doesn't. Well, he does and he doesn't.
Back and forth, right? Yeah. But what I'm saying is, you watch any of those shows, All in the Family, and then Good Times. What's the other one? The Jeffersons and all that stuff. It's bigoted everywhere. It's shared fun bigotation. Is that a word?
I don't know. But keep in mind, if they're puppeting us, they're trying to create division too.
Yeah. So
I think All in the Family. I think All in the Family was designed to make Meathead, the son-in-law, the liberal son-in-law, to make him challenge conventional conservative thinking and give that viewpoint an audience. And it worked because that was the dawn of liberalism taking over our thinking and throwing away all of our traditional, like the word, it's important to remember that the word conservative comes from the concept of conserving our values. Mm-hmm. We forget that. We think it's, it's labeled as like to the media, it's like conservative means Nazi. No, it means we conserve our values.
Conservation.
Which means biblical values.
Yes. Conservation. Yes. So Hicktown says, I've seen All in the Family. That guy died. I'm clueless about it. Well, that is Rob Reiner. Okay. Yes. He grew up to be a big time film producer, director in Hollywood. And the shows Stand By Me with Corey Feldman, Corey Haim, were both of those in there or just one of them? But The Princess Diaries.
River Phoenix, who died under mysterious circumstances at a young age, is in that movie.
Yeah, they were all young boys, is what I'm saying. Then you throw Harvey Weinstein in the mix. I mean, they're all around the same age. They're all in there. There's also some things going on with, it's been going on for years. Isaac Cappy talked about it. Steven Spielberg and that little girl, they're all friends. They're all old buddies. They're all around the same age, messing with these younger kids. Now, again, this is all alleged, right? This is just a conspiracy theory show where we don't know what we're talking about, Outcast. We're just throwing stuff out there. But is there evidence? Have people put out a lot of evidence? Yeah, we've seen it. I've seen it. Go ahead.
Before we exit this conversation too, I just got to ramble about something for a second, and I hope it has value for our listeners. I've seen liberals, including an old family member of mine online, expressing how disappointed they are in Trump commenting on Rob Reiner's death. And I would agree. On the surface, it's like, please just shut up. Why do you got to say the guy's dead? Why do you got to say something? But if you think about it, there's a new trend going on. When people die, there's now a new wall that they put up, and they say you can't say anything negative about them because they're dead. And they only do it when it's advantageous for them. When Charlie Kirk died, liberals danced and celebrated. Now Carl Reiner dies, and people that don't even know who he is, liberals like my niece online, are lamenting Trump's comments on it. It's like, wait a minute, you don't care when a conservative dies like Charlie Kirk, but now you're going to use the death card and say, can't you give some respect to the dead person? Erica Kirk is doing it. She's trying to say, you can't ask questions about a 30-06 going through somebody's neck and a magic neck bone of Charlie's neck bone because he's dead and I'm grieving, and my grief means that you can't ask questions.
Yeah.
See what they're doing? They've got this new thing that they do is they use a tragic death, which is a sacrifice for their purposes. They use these, for multiple purposes. And then they say you can't talk about it because the person's dead or because somebody's grieving. I call it baloney. Yes, I too am disappointed what Trump tweeted out. I think it's stupid. I think it's pointless. Maybe there's more to the story I'm willing to consider. But my greater point is this: don't let anybody try to use the shame card on Trump, because when you flip the script, suddenly they're not concerned about it. But when somebody they care about dies, suddenly it's in bad taste. It's such double standard, double talk. I can't stand it. I don't know what my point is, but I just got to throw that in the hopper too.
Yeah, no, it's something that it's a thorn in the side, because we see the same thing happen over and over again. When Hulk Hogan died, you saw when Hulk Hogan died, they loved it. They jumped for joy. I can't wait. And plus, I mean, that's a long road of all that stuff. They're such hypocrites. Yes, music lover. Thank you. She also says Will Wheaton was in Stand By Me. He seems to have had a bunch of childhood trauma around working in Hollywood. Yes, our biggest one that always talks about it. I mean, think about Britney Spears. There's so many. They're all Hollywood connected. But Charlie Feldman I'd love to have him on the show. That dude is so goofy. I think he'd be fun to have on the show.
You mean Corey? You mean Corey Feldman?
Yeah. What did I say?
Charlie Feldman.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I mean Corey. Corey Feldman. Yeah, I would love to have that goofball on our show, because I think he knows way more than what he's saying, and plus he doesn't care what the heck he looks like out there in public. He just goes, And
if we could all just dance like nobody's watching, like Corey Feldman, I think there'd be a happier place.
Yeah, and sing and do all this stuff. But now I know where Michael Jackson got all his moves from him. But what I would love to go back and put all his stuff together. I've got quite a bit of his wait a minute, who's Corey Feldman? She says, okay, hang on.
Who said that? Who asked?
Music lover. I've played him a bunch of times in this show.
While you're looking, I'll tell her. I'll try to tell her about him while you're looking him up.
Yep.
So Corey Feldman was a child actor. He was in Goonies. He's in Stand By Me. He's in a bunch of movies from that era. And as an adult, he kind of got a little goofy in that he was trying to channel Michael Jackson. He tried to dress like Michael Jackson, and he tried to start a singing, dancing career, and he's still going at it. And everybody posts videos of him because it's cringy and it's funny, because he doesn't care what people think of him, I guess, or he doesn't have any self-awareness. But anyways, in the 90s, he started blowing the whistle because his best friend was Corey Haim. They called him the Two Coreys. They had a reality show called the Two Coreys. Corey Haim was terribly drug addicted and ended up dying at a young age. Corey Feldman said, I didn't have as bad as Corey did because Corey was better looking than me, and they raped him more consistently than they did me. They molested him all the time. He put out a tell-all book. He's been claiming they've been trying to kill him. He's been stalked. He's been intimidated. And he went on Barbara Walters and said, hey, listen, I'm telling you that there's prolific pedophiles in Hollywood. And Barbara Walters got bristly and tried to defend Hollywood. And she goes, you're willing to bring down an entire industry for these claims? And he's like, yeah. So there's parts of Corey that's kind of a joke, but there's parts of Corey Feldman that are brave and courageous. His book came out, and he had a picture of Corey Haim, his friend, surrounded by 4 Hollywood producers. And he said, the sad thing about this photo is that Corey was being passed around as a party favor, being molested by all 4 of these producers. They made him pull the book. They made him pull the photo out of the book or whatever. He had to re-release it without that statement. But he's been trying to blow the whistle bravely for a while, and everybody keeps dismissing him as crazy and goofy. But I think he's got a lot to say. So I hope that's helpful, music lover. That's who Corey Feldman is. You look him up, you'll recognize him from Goonies and all these classic movies from the 80s.
Yeah, he's also the one that for us as little kids, teenagers, something like that. They did a movie together, License to Drive. That's Corey Feldman, Corey Haim. Go look at that. I think they were also both in the vampire ones. That was a great movie too from the 80s.
Lost Boys.
The Lost Boys. You guys got to go check it out.
Ironically, it's a L.A. Los Angeles vampire story. Go figure.
Yeah. How much truth is in that? I'm sure there's a ton of truth in that. I can't find my Corey. It's probably on this hard drive.
Music lover, I'm sure you'll know him when you see him. You'll go, oh, that guy. Because you've seen videos of people posting him online dancing and singing, and his dancing and singing is pretty terrible. And people like to make fun of him. And I think that's why they haven't killed him, is they figure that they can dismiss him as a joke and say he's goofy, so why listen to him? Where Corey Haim, I think, knew too much, and Corey Haim had to go. I wouldn't be surprised if he was suicided, but what do I know?
Yeah, I think the same thing on that, on Haim. It seemed like Haim, but they both got forced into, the whole drug use and all that stuff in the Hollywood stuff, and it was not good for either one of them. But
that's how they control them. That's how they control them. That's what they did to Kanye. That's what they do to everyone. If they're going to make you a mega star, they want to see if they can MK Ultra you in some level through drugging you. So all these child actors end up being drug addicts. Not part of it's because they're trying to mask their trauma, I believe, but the other part of it is that they were fed these drugs by physicians on the set of the movies so they could control them and make sure that these kids didn't break free of the mind control and start spilling the beans about who's diddling them at night when they go back to their trailer on the movie set.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm on a roll.
That's good though. I'm just, it's bumming me out because I can't find it, and I've had this thing here for so long. Sitting on, because I used to play it a lot. You guys have got to remember when I played this stuff, right?
Jesse, are the chats responding to what we're talking about? Is anybody chiming in?
Yeah. Yep. Music Lover and Hicktown, they're going back. They're terrible at names. Music Lover remembers that exchange with Barbara Walters. She's also haven't seen the Goonies. I didn't recognize his face. Hicktown says I didn't recognize him either. Maybe he was more 80s. I'm more 90s. Oh yeah, he was for sure more 80s. Big time.
80s, yeah. He's an 80s kid.
Yep.
Yeah.
All those movies from the 80s, like what we just talked about. He was in a lot of those.
Yes.
And
he's a child actor. Yep.
Yep, he had grown up around the whole Michael Jackson stuff. I mean, he was friends with Michael Jackson, I believe.
He's been claiming the entire time that Michael Jackson is the only person that didn't try to hurt him in Hollywood.
Yeah, he did, and then they shut that down too.
Yep.
This is really driving me nuts that I can't find this now. Outcast. And. You know what I'll have to do? Maybe on our Sunday night show, we'll open it with it or something. But it's been here before. You know what? You guys need to get into some of his movies from the 80s stuff. Go look at Lost Boys and go look at License to Drive.
They're fun.
They're great.
I'm not a younger person, but I think that they hold up. They'll be fun to watch for sure. They're a blast.
Yeah, for sure.
Retro factor alone will be worth it. The retro.
Oh, totally. Yeah. So, some of the. Sunday night show. Monday we're not going to be here, you guys. So it's Sunday the 21st is when it is, and we're Nephilim Clowns with Paul Stobbs. So he's in the UK, and we're right here coming out of Detroit. So that's how it's going to be. So Sunday night is when it worked out. This is the week of Christmas coming up next week. So I'll make sure same time, Sunday night, 7 p.m. But I'll be talking with him. So there will not be a Monday night show or the rest of the week. It's just Sunday will be our last show for next week. Because, we're looking at Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and then New Year's the following. But I'll update you more on that. I'm so bummed I can't find my Corey Feldman stuff. I bet you it's in this hard drive. Dang it.
Yeah.
Anything more you want to say before I read something?
There was something you guys just said a minute ago that made me want to comment. This is totally kind of going even further back, but I want to just illustrate how far back this Hollywood pedophilia goes, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I found a clip. It's floating around the internet. You can find it too. Shirley Temple, if you don't know who she is, if you're a younger person, she was born in 1930. And in the 1930s, she was a little girl actor who danced and sang, and she is adorable. If you watch an old movie with Shirley Temple, you will love it. They're really cute movies. Now, this is a very small story. It's not as dark as the ones we were just talking about, but there's an interview with her when she's in her 50s or 60s. And she says very nonchalantly that her and her mother went to go talk to another studio because I think they were signed out at MGM and they went to go talk to somebody at, I don't know, Universal or one of the competing studios. And she said she went into the office to talk with this executive and he was standing there naked. And she said she was a little girl. She was probably like 8 years old. And she started laughing because that was her nervous reaction to him being nude. And he was humiliated and angry and he kicked her out of his office. And she went out and went to her mother, who was in another meeting with another executive. And she said, I went in there, mommy, and he was naked. And I laughed at him and he kicked me out. And she goes, something similar happened to me in the other office. This is 1938 or something, I'm telling you guys. This is how far back this stuff goes on. The casting couch makes it sound like, an adult male will kind of seduce an adult female for fame. Like they'll dangle the carrot of fame to let them sleep with them on the casting couch. Very commonly, that's how it's been portrayed since time immemorial. This is about children. This goes back really far. This isn't just adults. This is creepy as all get out. And why is it infested in Hollywood? I don't know. But if you look at the Talmud, it says that sleeping with children is okay.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm just gonna posit that out there.
Yeah. Who runs Hollywood, Outcast? The Talmud people. Hey, look here. Music and Hicktown. They know about Shirley Temple. Music
good.
says her audition story is horrific. And we'll have to have 80s movie night. Yeah, that's awesome. Hicktown says, I remember seeing information about it. It's sad that she experienced it at a young age. Yeah, I did happen to find when you were talking the Corey Feldman, Barbara Walters. You guys want to watch it?
Yes.
It's a minute long, you guys. And when you're watching this, and because Hicktown says, because of who owns Hollywood and who they worship. Baal. Yeah, that's right. Baal. Yep.
Star of Rem Fam.
The Rem fan. Hey, while I'm playing this video of Corey Feldman schooling Barbara Walters, keep in mind who was his producer, who many times over, who was he around back in those days, who were the big top producers. You're talking about Rob Reiner. We're talking about Spielberg. Go ahead.
Also, I want to challenge everybody while they watch this to really consider how Barbara Walters, who's supposed to be a journalist, who's supposed to be seeking truth for the people, starts to circle the wagons and defend pedophiles in the name of saving an industry.
Yeah.
Watch her behavior. It's insidious.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah. So she wants to save the industry, but not these kids. All right. And remember, that's exactly what you said. Sorry. I just put it a different way.
No, it's good. Yeah, I liked the way you said it better.
So also here, what was I going to say? Let's just watch it. Here we go. So keep that Rob Reiner in the old producers. We might have to go do a little bit of investigative work and find out exactly who he was, movies that he was in and who those directors were. All right.
I'm saying that there are people that were the people that did this to both me and Corey that are still working. They're still out there, and they're some of the richest.
This is the original The View. This is when The View started years ago. How long has that been around?
I have no clue.
All right.
I've been tuning it out for years.
Yep. All right. Well, let's watch him school Barbara and her defend the pedophilia.
Powerful people in this business.
And they
do not want me saying what I'm saying right now.
Are you saying that they're pedophiles?
Yes.
And that they're still in this business?
Yes.
That's what you were saying in your book. When you talk to when you talk to
And they don't want
parents,
me here right now. Trust
Corey,
me. They want me dead.
there are a lot of parents out here who want to.
You see the guy on the couch on the right? That's what's his name from? Hang on. You'll. from
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about? I forgot his name.
is that Parks and Rec?
Yes. He's they make memes about him now being the libertarian type of dude.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about?
Okay. Yeah.
All right, let's keep it going.
Put their kids in this business. Their kids are cute. They're great actors. Da, da, da. What would you say to a parent who just has the best of intentions who's coming here with their child? If you're saying that there's a lot of predators in this industry.
It's a many-feathered bird, okay? Be careful what you wish for. That's what I'll tell you. You know, don't go into it with naivety. Don't go into it thinking that it's all roses and
You're
sunglasses and
damaging an entire industry.
I'm sorry.
What'd you say, Barbara?
And
You're
sunglasses
damaging an entire industry.
I'm sorry, I'm
clear
not
up.
trying
You said
to.
that-
I'm just trying to say that it's a very important, serious topic.
You said that there was one gentleman in the industry who did not take advantage of you. He was not a pedophile. You said it was Michael Jackson.
Of all people.
I wanted
Look at that, you guys. And here's a bunch of movies right here that he's been in.
I'm furious with Barbara Walters. I grew up with her. We grew up thinking that she was the face of real journalism, and to watch her defend pedophiles and try to circle the wagon and try to deflect this story is nauseating. And I don't care if she's dead and you're not supposed to speak ill of the dead. What a piece of human garbage would do that, right?
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
Boy, I'm gonna tear today. Sorry.
Oh, you're zesty. That's good. Hey, Music Lover says that was honestly the most shocking to me, that a woman I'd respected as a kid for her journalism would defend them, destroyed any respect I've ever held for her. Yeah, well, listen,
Yep,
but I've been hollering. I don't know what it is, but I've known about her for years, and when I say stuff to people in my life, hey, she's not a good one. People get all bent. Oh, what are you talking about? Just a woman. I said, no. There's more than that. I'm going to tell you one more who's like that right now too. And when she dies, it's going to be the same way. It's Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton is an evil, but she's the darling right now, right? Because she's the darling. All the music shows. No, I'm telling you not. She is not. She is a crazy, authoritarian, liberal woman.
I didn't know that about her.
Horrible. Wait, you should go back and see what she was doing during the scamdemic, when she was trying to push everybody to go get shots and doing all this stuff and calling people out, and all her liberal stuff, all her pro women's lib stuff, that man hating kind of stuff. But since she was portrayed as Hollywood darling and all these years, you guys just wait and see. That's it.
I wonder if they're trying to hype her reputation before she dies so they can try to deflect the truth coming out, or try to mitigate the truth coming out when she does pass.
Yeah, probably. Now here's Music Lover says, yeah, that dude Parks and Rec, he was not as base as his character on Parks and Rec. Also, we have Melody says, I don't think Michael Jackson was what he portrayed to be. Yeah, for sure. No, they did a job on him. They did a spin job, and he was getting in on the people, the small hats too. Remember, at the time, he was calling them out on his songs and all over the place. They took him right out.
Yep, he was. And you know what we're learning here in the wake up is that the those who serve Moloch and Baal, they invert reality. So they try to make people that are evil, insidious look good, and they try to make good people look bad. I mean, just look at how they cast Tom Hanks as Mr. Rogers. Right? That was a slap in the face to all of us too. That's going, right. Oh, okay, here we go. We're going to make this guy that was a hero to children and peaceful and loving and taught people how to be civil and all this stuff, for a whole generation of young people. And we're going to put Tom Hanks in there. Come on. That is just obvious at this point what they're up to. But
oh yeah. Yep.
That's my take.
Melody says, call me crazy, but I think Neverland Ranch was likely created to protect kids. Yes. There you go. It could have been. It could have been. We're never going to know, but one thing's for sure, the media and all the news outlets, they completely tainted all that stuff. All right. I think, that's it.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. No, we're beyond everything. So there's a lot that we just talked about there, especially at the end with these guys. I want you guys to not believe what we're saying. Don't take it. But take it to the internet and take it to start searching things and take it to history, real history. Start looking on the back of these movies and who were the producers and what was going on at the time, you'll find a trail. Follow that trail. Okay? It's not the media's trail. They won't help you find it. They won't search for that stuff, and they won't tell you about that stuff. They're only going to tell you about the media darlings that they own and control. All right? It's all being controlled from up here. You know, the Hollywood productions being controlled, the narratives being steered by the media. They're all in cahoots, and they're all playing a game on us. Yeah.
And to think this whole conversation that you and I are having right now about this topic all started because of the Carl Reiner thing.
Yeah.
Or Rob Reiner thing.
Yeah, Rob Reiner. Well, it starts with Carl Reiner. He was doing stuff to his son, Rob. Yeah.
I didn't know we were going to talk about this subject for this long.
Me neither. But it is what it is.
But I did pray and ask God to guide the conversation. So here we are.
Exactly. Well, like in the very beginning, when I said here, right there, Lord bless the transmission and guide our intentions. I think we've been guided and intended. So,
amen, hallelujah.
Amen,
yes,
brother.
Yes, brother. Yes.
Listen, one thing before we go, and because we're going to go right now, I want to bring this up to you. It was a piece of email that I got, some feedback that I got through our email, dangerousinfopodcast@protonmail.com. Ready? This one came to us from Karen in Texas. She says, Dear Jesse and Outcast, may God bless the work you are doing. I religiously listen to the show, and I am in awe of the Outcast prayers. I often play them for my husband when we get home from work. You have such an interesting variety of guests that really make me stop and pray and think. Jesse, I also love the Thursday mornings. I live in the South Texas, but some of the winter tips aren't applicable, but still quite interesting. I pray for both of you regularly and pray often for discernment and that I live my calling from God. I see the Lord at work in so many ways, and because of your show, I look at a lot of life through a different lens now. I wish I had the Outcast gift of talking to people boldly, and I'm working on that every day. You guys make a difference for the kingdom. Stay dangerous. Karen in Texas. Love and prayers. Oh, man, see, God Outcast, you're touching people, Outcast.
It's making me cry. Karen, thank you so much for your feedback. Onward and upward for the kingdom. This is about him, not us. We're just vessels. And thank you for being along for the ride. We love you, and we consider you part of the family. So thanks for the feedback. It means more than you know.
Yeah. I never knew it would be reaching people in this way. And, you know, and I know that some of the stuff we talk about really gets people mad. We've seen it. We've seen some loss of support recently. But we're not doing these things. We're not saying what we're saying in malicious ways. We're trying to say these things to get people to think, not to offend you, but to get you past the offended part and think about really what's going on with the history and what we've been taught to think. All right. We're not going to be able to win everybody over, and we're not trying to win people either, Outcast. We're just trying to tell them the truth and the way we think. And some people just will not agree with it, and that's okay. That's okay. They got to.
And we're learning too. We're learning too. We're learning as we go. We don't claim that we know everything. We're just doing the best we can to figure it out as we go. We're inviting you along for the ride of the wake up and see if you can help us sift through this stuff, because all we know is what we've been told doesn't make any sense.
Yep, for sure. This show was going to be a little something different. If you guys notice I have on there more productive you. Well, that was going to be another episode, and it will be another morning episode. But today there was just so much that me and Outcast got to talk about. So I like that, and we'll save this maximizing productivity, being a more productive you for another one. Maybe when it's just me on, I don't know, or Outcast, I know when me and you get to talking, it goes on and on and on. So maybe the next one I'll frame it up so it's just this, and we'll just talk about that. But I talk about winter prep stuff on here. This Thursday morning show hasn't found its topic point yet. Maybe it's just going to be what it's going to be. It sounds different than the Monday night show, and that's intentional. The music's different. The visuals are different. The screen that you're looking at is different, and that's intentional. I'm trying to make, if we can do this long run thing, it'd be great to have 4 different shows, all under the Dangerous Info podcast. 4 different topic shows. But the Monday show, the typical Monday show, is always going to stay the same. Wild and crazy, like it does in these morning shows. I love it, man. Are you drinking coffee right now, or tea, or something? What do you have?
Water in my copper mug.
Water and copper. Awesome. Well, here's my bulletproof coffee in stainless steel. It's so good.
I got to go to the bathroom. You're making me have to go to the bathroom. I got to go.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you go, brother. I'll let you go. And look, on the way out here, we'll do this outro right now. If you guys like what you have heard, please, I'm asking you guys to support the show. If you want, if you're considering becoming a sponsor of the show, if the situation fits, yeah, please do that. You can choose from any of the support links listed down there in the description below. If you guys have something relevant, interesting, or just want to talk to us, send us an email. And I got one during the show here. I couldn't read it out loud yet. Email us, you guys. dangerousinfopodcast@protonmail.com. All right. Thanks again for listening to the show, you guys, today. I'm Jesse James, and he's Outcast right there. Look at him. Yep. And you guys finish out the week. Remember to strap yourself with the armor of God. Help unshackle. I'm saying help unshackle the minds of your loved ones, all right? Be bold, be courageous, stay alert, and recognize all the beautiful opportunities that surround us all every single day. You guys have a great week. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you here in a few days on Sunday night for the Sunday night show, you guys. We'll see you then. Take care. God bless. Outcast, did you want to say anything last to the people before we go?
Ephesians 5:11 have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them whenever appropriate and with love.
Awesome. I like it, brother. Well, listen, thanks for joining me on this Thursday morning episode, the Reiner Rise and Shine episode 244, Outcast. Thank you so much, brother. And we'll talk to everybody soon. Stay dangerous out there.